Hey, Avs fans, this episode is brought to you in part by MyBookie. MyBookie is one of the most trusted and reputable sportsbooks in the industry and still has the best payouts and better odds than any other sportsbooks going. I personally just won about $120 on the Super Bowl, including betting on the color of the friggin' Gatorade, because I nailed orange. Hell yeah. If you join now, MyBookie will match your deposit with a 50% bonus all the way up to $1,000. That means if you deposit $100, you receive an extra $50 of free money to play with. Deposit $200, get an extra $100, you get it. Just use the promo code THPN to activate the offer and take advantage of this. You can risk a little or you can risk a lot on as many games as you want. Or props, in my case. Visit mybookie.ag today. You play, you win, you get paid. The Hockey Podcast Network has also joined forces with Puffy Mattresses. They're not just any bed-in-a-bag company. These are America's most comfortable mattress. And right now, you can get $300 off a new mattress plus a free king-size pillow. Plus, they offer a 101-night sleep trial. So if you're not satisfied with the mattress, you can return it no problem. Also, if you use our link, just like NHLShop.com, you can help support us and the other hosts at the Hockey Podcast Network.
This is the Hockey Podcast Network, your home for hockey talk on every team in the NHL.
Welcome to Offside by a Mile, the podcast for anything and everything Colorado Avalanche, and the official Avs podcast for the Hockey Podcast Network. Well, Avs fans, that is the game we've been waiting for, I think. That's the game. It's the game I've been waiting for, let me tell you.
Yep.
A blowout that included just about everything going right.
Yeah.
Except for one thing that we ranted about for a pretty good portion of Monday's episode. But we'll save that for a minute or two later. Burakovsky, pretty decent game.
Yeah.
Pretty decent.
He's kind of hot.
Probably his best game of the year.
So hot right now.
Definitely on the stat sheet. But the Moose is loose, and I had to wear the shirt today.
Oh yes, I didn't even notice.
I had to wear the Moose.
You have to. Fuck yeah.
I had to wear the Moose today. I had to. Not that he won them the game or anything, but hot damn, what a shot!
Yeah. Like what goal was that even?
6.
That was goal number 6, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. That's the kind of snipe we're used to seeing from Rantanen. That was beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the shirt made its debut. I mean, for those, we didn't video on Monday's recording, so I actually wore it then too, but we're videoing today, so I had to wear the Moose.
Represent.
DNVR shout out. Great shirts.
Yep.
That being said, this is going to have to be a little bit of a shorter chat because we have a Across the Rink segment this week with the Senators podcast, Frozen Biscuit.
Mm-hmm.
Shane from Frozen Biscuit will be on with us, I don't know, 20 minutes from now or so. Probably 30 because this is us, let's be serious. But we're going to try and make it 20.
Yeah.
The goal that should have been the game winner. It very well could have been the game winner.
Yeah.
I don't care what happened before this goal. This goal is important.
Oh, yeah. Right. I'm like, okay, what goal are we talking about? Oh.
Probably the funniest goal I've watched in the NHL.
Oh, like period. Like I've never ever seen something like this. This was a spectacle.
This looked like the football version of a guy running back a fumble that wasn't a fumble.
Yeah.
You know, like where the play's dead and the guy picks the ball up and
What do you
runs
mean? I
40
got
yards
it.
down the field.
Yeah.
It looked like Girard's just skating in the corner to the puck that was clearly on a dead play and fires it in the net and is going to get beat up. But it's like, nope, that's a goal.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, so like who even takes the shot? I can't remember. It goes off
Graves.
yeah, okay. So Graves' shot goes off Buddy's skate boot and legit shoots straight up in the air. Like it must have gone like 40 feet in the air cuz like no one knew where it was. And just everyone's the goalie too. Hutton's just like no idea.
He was doing what everybody was doing and looking for the puck to fall out of somebody's pants.
Yeah, everyone's like, "Where is it?" Like, looking around. Meanwhile, I can't remember who's at the top of the covering Graves. I guess it would have been the winger for Buffalo,
either.
but he's just freaking out on the point. Like, boys, it's in the corner. It's over there. And Girard's just like, "Oh yeah, sweet." Just picks up the puck, looks over, pretty much empty net. Hutton sees it like last second and is just like, shit.
I'm not going to get this.
That was the funniest goal. It's
So
got to be
amazing.
one of the funniest goals of the year. That and the Spezza blooper earlier on, which hilariously enough is both the Avs.
This is true, actually. I forgot about that one.
Man.
I really forgot about that one.
Yeah, but I don't even know what else to say. Good job, Girard. Nice spot. Must be a bird watcher.
I'll lie. I do care about what happened before this goal. It was just I had to get to this. I had to. I couldn't not. I couldn't wait. I couldn't. Not possible.
It was too good, man.
Grubauer though starts this game off pretty solid.
And he had to be.
He had to be good. He definitely had to be good after last game.
Well, and I mean,
And early in this game, like there was 2 big stops in the first half of the period.
Yeah.
That could have changed this game.
and not great plays.
Not great plays, not great defense. Surprise, surprise. But it wasn't a power play, but it felt like a power play. Just the way they moved that puck on the first one. Kind of like a tic-tac-toe through the slot, backdoor. Gruby reads it perfectly. He reads it so well that he's there substantially before the pass. And, doesn't even look like a good save. Except for the fact that the pass is backdoor, and I don't care who you are, but that's a good save.
Yeah.
He just beat it there so fast.
He
'cause
just
read
made it look
perfectly.
so easy,
He read it absolutely perfectly.
which is so good to see.
Thank you, Grubauer.
Yeah.
Thank you. Didn't see a whole lot on Twitter saying, "Oh man, Grubauer played great tonight." Well, he did.
No one recognizes it. They're just like, well, we scored 6 times, so
Probably the fourth occurrence this season of a goalie that should have got a shutout didn't because the team gave up. A little bit after the 2 Avs goals, so yeah, Burakovsky gets himself on the board. What is it? 35 seconds. 35, 45.
after
45 seconds after.
pretty quick after.
45 seconds after that absolute clown show, first goal, Burakovsky gets on the board with a pretty good snipe.
Nice little snipe off the post, and yeah, it's every time he just shoots the puck, I'm like, yeah, I love it.
Yeah,
I just love it. It's a hidden little sneaky good shot.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Because classic me and my note taking. Because I don't do math during the broadcast, I just write the clock. Grubauer had a really nice save at the 11-minute mark too. 11 minutes left in the period mark. The 2-on-1 where he came sliding out and got the lucky poke check. Not a prototypical pro poke check, but swiped at the puck to prevent the Buffalo Sabre from going around him.
Mm-hmm.
But still, 2-on-1, and he makes the stop. Again, that could have been a 1-1 game, minus that backdoor save. Could have been a 2-1 game. Obviously, your goalie's paid to make saves, but he was big in the first half of the period for sure.
And I mean, like, as good as this game was, it was a good game. Early on in this first period, a little shaky, which is a little bit different, I think, than a lot of Avs games have been lately.
Well, look at the Flyers game, right?
Yeah.
They were really good in the first half of the first period.
Right. Usually it's kind of like a tapering off after the first period because, as most people should know, the Avs are one of the best, if not still the best, first
were right
period
up there for sure.
team. But yeah, some weird giveaways there was one by Graves, one by Makar early. But yeah, like you said, Grubauer made some important saves, kept him scoreless until later on.
Yeah, so then Girard scores, Burakovsky scores right quick after. Then there's that one, the Buffalo Sabres shot. It was kind of like a 2-on-2 or something. And VC gets that tip that goes off the bar. That was really close. That was super lucky for Gruby.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it's Jimmy VC cutting across behind a defenseman wide open. Like, not wide open, but not contested. Like, nobody's playing his body at all.
Too much space.
Which, I mean, if you play his body, you're probably taking a penalty there. So, generally speaking, you're not worried about that. But it breeds into the goal that's 0.9 seconds left in the period.
As we alluded to earlier.
For serious, guys. I was terrified going into the intermission thinking that this game was going sideways.
Right. Yep. For sure. It was that that sneaking little doubt in the back of your mind, right?
1 second.
Yeah.
1 second. All that happens is Eric Johnson forgets to play defense.
Yeah, for about 1 second.
It was probably 5.
Yeah.
Probably 3. Yeah. Maybe. We'll give him 3 seconds of not playing defense. But he lets Sam Reinhart go to the front of the net, completely wide open. All he has to do is tip the puck in the net.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all he's got to do. It's really easy if you're standing there by yourself and the guy that shoots the puck shoots it at your feet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we said it last podcast. Like, that can't happen in the last minute. And we even, we said last time, or last game, there's 2 goals in the last minute of the first and the last minute of the second. 1 each, obviously, not 2. But both in the last minute, and then we get another one in this game. Thank God that this didn't affect anything negatively. But, like, boys, that's it. That's a major yikes right there.
This game got really bad for the Sabres. But again, it could have been really bad for the Avalanche if Gruby doesn't play a good first.
And I mean, if that's a different team who's feeling a little bit more confident than said Sabres, that's a major, major momentum shift.
That was the thing. Like, Jack Eichel didn't seem like himself.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that later
Tuesday
on,
night,
but
for sure.
Considering you just said that, he did look a little off, and that goes for the entire Sabres team. But usually, you've seen a better effort and more of a will to grind, I guess, by Eichel. But yeah, they I don't know. Looking at this Sabres team in that game, they just look like a defeated squad. Like, it's almost like they've already given up.
They look like a team that's been here before.
Yeah, they know exactly where they're headed right now, right, too.
We're going to talk to Shane from Frozen Biscuit about the fact that the Sens, like, you can't breed losing.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the Sabres look like. The Sabres look like what the Oilers have looked like for years. Where it's just like, all they know how to do is win. All they know how to do is produce that effort, right? Because that's the difference in the NHL. Everything is so tight and so even that it's winning the little battles. And if you're just so used to maybe put in 95%, this is what happens. And I've heard, I think Ray Ferraro has said it in Toronto a few times. The bad teams can be fine. Like, they can skate early in a game, but the moment that, like, 1 or 2 hurdles gets put in front of them, they just call it quits because they're like, we're not as good as this team. It's fine. Like,
right.
We're not taking the 2 points home. I might as well just pack it up and just not play the rest. Like, not put in 100% effort.
Yeah.
And you can't breed that because if you do, this crap happens a lot. And I couldn't imagine being a Sabres fan right now because it's just every single season. Every single season.
Yeah, and it's just a toxic trend, right? Like, they kind of brought up in the Altitude broadcast, like the Sabres last year at the start of the year too. really, really good. They went on some big runs. I think
10,
they had, I think
was
they
it
had
10
10
or
in a
11
row.
games in a row?
Yeah. And then this year at the start of the year, they were in first place for a while.
Yep. And then they missed last year, and they're going to miss this year.
Yeah.
Because of just, it's like we said about the Avs, right? The Avs had that great start, and they put themselves in a great spot. But if you just give up on games, then you're going to give up all those points you earned.
Right. And then it's all for nothing.
What's the point?
Yeah.
Right? And you can't breed that habit.
Yeah.
And again, these last minute goals and stuff, like that's a terrible habit too.
Mm-hmm.
And it's things like the reason why, especially me, I have such a hard time with these goals is you're so close to the end of the tunnel. And all you got to do is play decent defense. Just stay on the right side of the puck.
Yeah.
This one, if you stay on the right side of the puck, this doesn't happen.
Yes. It's not going to be able to. Yeah.
Right? Like, I don't know who it was at that point. Maybe it was Burakovsky, one of the newer addition guys, I'm pretty sure, maybe Nichushkin too. He's at the point, and he tries to help out on the battle, which then the puck squirts out to his guy that he just left. That's fine. He was trying to help. He was supporting the lower play, which if they turn the puck over there, it's over.
Yeah.
I'm not really too upset by him. Like, that shot's fine. The shot itself is fine. It's the fact that Reinhart gets wide open in front. 100%, right?
Yeah.
And it's just simple things like that, simple effort plays that you go to the intermission 2-0. And obviously, hindsight's 2020. This game didn't go sideways, but it could have.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Philly went sideways because of a last-minute goal.
Right.
Twice.
Yeah, 2.
Second period, fantastic.
Yep.
Nazem Kadri absolutely shoves that idea down the drain.
Yeah.
A minute into the period, snipe.
Gotta love that. And see, that's a good habit that we're seeing. We're seeing quite a few early period goals by the Avs. I love seeing that enthusiasm that quick.
Pretty common occurrence in this game, though. Sniped.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man, did they like to snipe on Tuesday.
This was just you're getting the payoff finally. You know, we've had some struggle games, hot goalies, whatever, big blocks.
Good bounces finally in this game.
Yes. And yeah, that Kadri goal was nice.
That pass by Nichushkin.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Man, like, we're going to get into it here in the second period, but my God, that line was looking just, so good. That Kadri, Nuke, and Burakovsky.
God damn.
Like, I don't think anybody would have seen this line coming. Like, there's no way at the start of the year you're like, yeah, Berkey, Nichushkin, and Kadri. Yeah, that's probably a line.
For sure. Yeah.
And then now, like, congrats, Bednar, because that was a great decision to keep them together when Donskoy came back.
That's what they said before the game, or at least in the first intermission. I can't remember when it was, but
yeah,
the question was asked, are you going to break up the line? And he said, absolutely not.
Yeah, and good call, dude. Good call, dude. Because,
worked out.
Like, this game, they really, like, in the past couple games, they had found something. But they really just took off with their chemistry.
For
and,
sure.
like, you look at Berkey and Nuke, wow, like, it looks like they've been playing together for, like, a couple seasons, the way they were playing in this game. Like, ins and outs and crosses, nice cross-ice feeds that produced how many goals? Like, just, wow. I was blown away by these three, for sure.
Goal number 2 of the second, number 4 of the evening, Nikita Zadorov gets on the board. This one is not reviewed and taken away. Thankfully for him.
Right.
Common theme of the game, kind of, too, especially the next couple goals here. Left wide open in the slot.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yep.
Makes it pretty easy for Berkey to hit him with a good pass.
Mm-hmm.
Tucks it in 5-hole. I'm sure Hutton's not a fan of this one.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely one that really breaks the back of momentum and all that stuff. Really kills the morale.
Yeah.
Especially for a 4th goal of the game. That's the goal where Buffalo's just like, yeah.
Pack it in, boys.
Have your way with us.
Does everybody have the golf clubs fit? Yeah, seriously, though. But Big Z, you know, some nice little move there and a
nice
backhander. I
Yeah.
like it, man.
Goal number 3 of the period, Val Nichushkin.
Oh, man.
Choo-choo. Wide open in the slot.
Man.
And snipe.
Yeah. just another snipe.
This is the one that chased Hutton, right?
Yeah.
A tough night for Hutton for sure. That's three goals that are basically posting in.
I mean,
plus 3 goals that are posting in. Gerard's where nobody on the ice knows except for 2 guys, one of each team.
Yeah.
And like you said, the one guy who knew where the puck was just yelling instead of skating.
Yeah, just like, yeah. It's like the Dane Cook skit.
Yeah, so it's a tough one for Hutton. He's had a tough year. This is kind of a microcosm of his season.
Yeah.
Compared to what he did last year, he has had a rough go.
And, just doesn't get that much help from his team.
A couple minutes later, the 4th goal of the period, a 2-on-1, passed over from McKinnon on Durant and stick, and snipe.
Oh, yeah. We kind of already touched on that, but damn, dude. Like, that's the shot. That's the shot right there.
The shot where the goalie is questioning whether or not it went in?
Yeah.
Good times.
Right, yeah. At first, I was kind of like, hey, did that hit the crossbar? But then you look at Ranson and you're like, nah, he knows he scored.
They're pretty happy. The lights
He's
on.
like, dude, that's it.
In. Yeah.
But yeah, and I just love watching McKinnon create that whole 2-on-1 too, right? No one else is creating a 2-on-1 there. He gets on his horse like no one does except for maybe McDavid, right? And just flies up there.
Which it's nice to see him not have to create that as the first goal of the game.
Yes,
finally.
yeah.
That's a nice one where he can just I mean, it's awesome to see him create that. It's awesome to see Rantanen get on the board for a second straight game.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also nice that it's the 6th one and the second line went nuts in this game. Like, awesome to see that.
Yeah.
Another thing that happened in the second period that I don't remember what time it happened. I just know it happened because I feel bad for him.
Oh, yeah.
Peb may not be having children anytime soon.
Right, dude. Yeah. Was that a nut shot?
I don't know, man.
I still don't know what's happening with him. Belly?
He came back, thankfully, but it was a bit scary the way he went off and
dude,
barely. Oh,
yeah.
Like that's what makes me think it had to be a nut shot, like caught the cup or something. But,
well, and like he got up and fought through it for a bit, but then after the play was done, he's just like curled over.
Yeah,
just like
I actually saw a fantastic meme today. Really perfect timing of the. I don't know if anybody else did, but it was like. Anytime guys see another guy get hit in the nuts, and it was like the 3 rocks, and they're all doing the like squishy face, like ooh. I was like, perfect timing. Should have tweeted it out.
Straight up though, like that was kind of everybody's thought was that it did, get him in the old family jewels, and yeah, I mean,
wherever it got him, it hurt pretty bad, and he went to the room. I think that was right near the end of the period.
Yeah,
because I think he went to the room and then came back for the 3rd.
What a warrior.
The 3rd period, pretty uneventful. Teams kind of packed her in. Ian Cole smashed the post at...
Oh, yeah, right.
I guess that was just barely a minute into the period, I think. He smashed the post.
Oh, yeah. One thing I wanted to comment on that was absolutely amazing to see and just... it made me laugh so hard. But did you see Rantanen's dad? In the stands.
the blazer.
Oh,
the
man.
custom blazer.
Oh, just looking great. And then when Rantanen scores, it's just so good. He was loving it. And
jacked.
The best thing about it, though, so he's just high-fiving every Avs fan he can find around him, right? But the best part of it is just watching the lady in the Sabres jersey a couple rows behind him, and she's like, who the fuck is this guy?
Why are you here?
Like, just a look of absolute disgust. Like, why are you doing this in front of me? And Rantanen's just like, my boy! Just like, yeah, high five! It's just gold. Sorry, I had to comment that. It was just TV gold right there.
One of those things that Buffalo fans probably deal with on a fairly regular basis, being that the Leafs probably do that even worse in their building.
Yeah, and hey... There was 2 Leafs fans there with 2 Leafs jerseys behind the Avs bench.
You pointed that out to me, not even me pointing it out to you.
Why the hell are these guys there? Classic.
And then the final note I had in a game like this, of course, everybody's favorite, Tyson Jost, can't buy himself a goal.
Yeah.
2-on-1 late, couple minutes left. I would have took the shot if I was him too.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say robbed, but... pretty nice save by...
who was that even? I don't even know.
I should know this. Johansson.
Oh, okay. I did not know that.
That might be Johansson or something.
Actually, you're right.
Jonas Johansson or
Yeah,
Jonas
Johansson, Nate, yeah.
Swedish, so probably.
Yeah, like other than that, one cool little tidbit that was displayed on the Altitude broadcast, Val Nichushkin is I don't know if he still is, but he's the top plus-minus forward in the NHL.
I saw that. I meant to bring that up. I forgot.
What the F?
That is crazy.
What the F? Like,
the Avs have 3 of the top 5.
That's
or
insane.
Going in, like, during that game, at least. That's probably changed a little bit.
Exactly, right. But my God, like, you can't... Like, how important is that? That's... He's got to be... And I saw a poll on Twitter today, actually, and it right away, it was like, oh, yeah, Nichushkin. But it was like, who's been the most surprising Av this year?
I think that's...
How can you put anybody else there? Like, this guy is way beyond expectations that he had at this point in his career.
I think you should have expected 15 points as a good year for Nichushkin.
Yeah. If you would have asked me at the start of the year, I would have been like, yeah, if he gets 5-10
like
goals.
I'm saying a good season. I'm saying average 10 or 12,
yeah,
that's fine.
And if he was,
a good season 15.
Yeah, and if he was, serviceable player out there and not a liability.
This guy's driving play at times. This guy's putting up points. He's got 12 assists this year. He's got 9 goals.
Yeah. He got shoved up to the second line now too, right? Like it's...
But again, right, he was drafted as that second line guy.
Yeah.
Like that's where he should have been. Obviously, you're hoping that he ends up higher with the first round pick, but I think Dallas would still have him if he was a second line guy.
Yeah, well,
right?
If he was playing like this, you better believe they would still have him.
So it's is this the steal of the season for Sakic? Maybe. Of all the depth signings, obviously we're not going to get crazy. That's what Shane is doing with Declare. I don't want to get crazy with Nichushkin, but he's easily my most surprising Av for sure.
Yeah, big eye opener. One other thing was in second intermission, Laura Jabara, is that right?
Yeah, Jabara.
She interviewed Big Z, and I just really, really like this quote that he said in that interview, and it's pretty simple, but this is exactly the kind of mentality that the Avs need right now. He basically says, good teams don't lose 2 in a row. So that's what we're focused on for the rest of the year. And amen to that. I know you've talked about that. That's exactly what we need to hear from everybody on the Avs, he seemed like, excuse me. He seems like a lot more confident of a guy probably than he was even a month ago. But also the fact that it's everyone's buying in. Everybody knows the mistakes that they're making. And it's just a matter of putting it all together, obviously.
You can talk the talk. I need to see them walk the walk.
Mm-hmm.
First step is acknowledging the problem, though. So
right.
You're right. They also brought up on the broadcast, and it blew me away. And I understand that it's the West versus the East, and there's a lot of really bad teams in the East. The Avs would be 11th in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah. That's so crazy.
Before last night's game, they would have been below the Maple Leafs in the Eastern Conference with 62 points.
Yeah.
They were second in the Central going into last night's game. The Dallas Stars passed them with their single point in the overtime against, I don't remember who. Columbus, maybe. No, it wasn't Columbus. Doesn't matter. But yeah, it's just you think they're having a good season. And I agree. I think they're fine. I think they're doing just fine. But that's it. They're just fine. They're not world beaters.
Yeah, we're not there yet.
And they should be.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about this, right? They have the parts to be good, to be very good. You need everything to work together. You need Bednar to, I don't know whether it's fire them up or make them, you got to get them to play a 5-man defensive unit.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying they got to be the winning games 3-0 like Arizona did to the Oilers on Tuesday night.
Mm-hmm.
But they got to limit these wide open chances in the slot.
Well, and mitigate the blatant breakdowns, basically. And because that's like what I said last episode was majority of our losses this year are just simple breakdowns, which they come out of nowhere, A, and B, they're totally preventable. And C, we're like could be dominating this game offensively anywhere on the ice. And then just something bad happens.
Again, I've brought up Detroit a few times since that game. That's right. The one.
Yeah, that's like the perfect example.
To the worst team in the league by so much. They're minus 96.
They're almost at that Hundy. Almost at that Hundy.
And the Avs found a way to bring them back into a hockey game they were clearly going to win.
Right.
And it's stuff like that.
Yeah.
That being said, we are going to be joined by Shane from Frozen Biscuit here in a second.
Now a quick word from our sponsors.
Don't forget to check out the Hockey Podcast Network's newest affiliate, NHLShop.com. That's right, the official NHL merchandise page. Right now, they're giving 20% off orders over $25 with code NHLICE25. Also, if you use our link that we're going to tweet out after this episode, you can help support us and the other hosts at the Hockey Podcast Network. All right, Avs fans, this week's edition of Across the Rink comes to you all the way from Ottawa, since the Avs, haven't played them all season and get to play them in 5 days, 6 days.
Yeah, twice in 6 days.
Anyway, we have Shane from Frozen Biscuit, an affiliate podcast for the Hockey Podcast Network. How's it going, Shane?
Pretty good. Thank you for having me on, guys. Pleasure to finally join you.
Thanks for coming on. I think the first thing that comes up with the Ottawa Senators is clearly the Matt Duchene trade. Thank you for taking him off our hands. You were the first to show us the light, and teams have just continued to show us how much better we are off without him.
Clearly. And I mean, you got quite a haul for him too.
That was another thing I was going to say thanks for. Thanks for including Turris in that trade to somehow make the Avs just get like the absolute most ridiculous haul for Matt Duchene.
Yeah, I mean, you got a first-round pick, Gerard, Bowers, and
Kamenev, who is playing frequently right now,
and Byram, technically from that first-round pick.
Yeah,
but
it just
now Nashville, though, got the worst of everything.
Yeah, it looks like you guys may have gotten the worst of it just because you don't have Matt Duchene anymore. What are your thoughts, first of all, before we get to the Preds? What are your thoughts on Matt Duchene's time in Ottawa?
Conflicting.
Fair.
I think it's one of those, he meshed well with Stone, not with Carlson, and it just for whatever reason it just fell apart. But the return Ottawa got for Duchene from Columbus is fantastic compared to what it could have been. So it was a positive experience for Duchene.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what both of those trades kind of relay to you is Duchene goes somewhere and they give up a lot for him, and then he does a lot of garbage for them. I mean, he hasn't been terrible in Columbus,
he was okay in Columbus, but as a whole, when he got there, that team looked dangerously close to missing the playoffs after giving up the farm. And then he goes to Nashville along with Kyle Turris. And they have been a absolute tire fire this year.
I kind of forgot that he's over on Nashville now too. Yeah.
Can we? So the fact that Ottawa, they gave up Bowers and realistically, they only gave up Bowers and a first-round pick, which all in all isn't that bad. If you just break down what Ottawa gave up for Duchene,
and Kyle Turris, right?
Yeah, but because Turris was gonna leave because he was asking for 8-8. He's not worth the 6-6 that Nashville's giving him.
No, I thought that 6-6 was gonna be okay when he signed it?
I didn't. I was definitely on board for like a 4-4, 5-5 because Turris has never been a number one center. He
Yeah,
was
but that's
default
the
a
thing.
number one
6 and
center
6
with
is
Ottawa.
not 6 and 6 is not number one center money. That's number two center money.
It's borderline number one center money. It's not top tier number one center money.
Man, that is like fringe first line center money.
Like, but it's not top tier. It's that guy who can play top line minutes, but not consistently be your number. Like he's your tandem 1-2.
Sure.
And that basically what he was gonna be with Johansson, and then he kind of just shot the bed.
Well, and so did Johansson. Like Johansson's not been what they hoped for from that trade either.
Johansson's been decent compared to how Seth Jones was with them. Like
Sure.
Comparing Seth Jones' times in Nashville to Johansson's time in Nashville, Johansson's been the better of the two. Seth Jones in Columbus, on the other hand, has been a completely different monster.
But that's the thing, right? Like you got to look at like Taylor Hall for Adam Larson and think of obviously the Johansson for Jones was before that, but to think of what Seth Jones could have got you. Obviously, like you said, he wasn't this good prior to the trade, but Adam Larson got you Taylor Hall.
And there's also no guarantee that he turns into what he's turned in Columbus if he was still in Nashville.
For sure, 100%.
And,
However, I wouldn't doubt Nashville's defensive prospect game. Like, I wouldn't doubt their developing process because
no, not at
their
all.
D core is outrageous. Well, the pieces that they have drafted and developed are outrageous. The pieces they trade for, like PK Subban, not so much.
Well, yeah. Subban's a different monster
For sure.
in and of itself. But, the Duchesne alone, looking at the fact that we gave Colorado just a late first round pick in Bowers and a first overall pick.
Oh, sorry. Okay, I got you. Never mind. Sorry.
That turned into Byram that no one really expected at the time. Because I think if you ask most people, this trade was supposed to give Ottawa that legit number one guy, help lead Ottawa back to the playoffs. At worst, it was probably going to be like a early 20s pick. So that being said, looking at what Ottawa got back for him, 2 prospects in Abramov and Davidson, and then a first round pick that was 15th overall. I mean, it wasn't the worst trade in hockey history, and it wasn't obviously the best trade in hockey history. It's definitely one of those like questionable trades, but Ottawa recovered pretty well for it.
Well, yeah, we kind of got to it on your podcast before this, but the fact that the Ottawa Senators are now the ones that are looking at a team in peril that are handing them their first round pick that could win the lottery must feel pretty good, eh? Must feel pretty good that the Senators get that two first round picks this year, right?
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, no, it does. Especially since it's San Jose. It couldn't have happened to a better team. See, I don't think Carlson was worth the $11 million that San Jose gave him.
We're clearly seeing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, this draft class is ridiculous. So I'm hoping for a 1-2. I think that'd be fantastic, especially since it's in Montreal.
Oh man, that would be something else.
Going 1-2, and it would be even great. It would even be better if Montreal picked third. If we win it with San Jose's pick, Ottawa picked second, and then Montreal picked third, I would love it.
You better hope your scouting system does their job.
Well, the fact that you look at all these like late round gems Ottawa's had, I will have no problem with our scouting department.
I know. Like in this draft, I think it's pretty hard to mess up if you're going 1-2.
Seems
But
like it.
stranger things have happened, I guess.
Speaking of draft picks, this is a question. I don't know if you've spent a lot of time looking at this. I know we kind of talked about it. The Sens are obviously happy they kept Brady Tkachuk versus whatever Bowen Byram could turn into. If he'd even, most likely he's not turning into a stud, like an absolute stud top pair guy, like Makar has shown that he is probably going to be. Do you think the Sens would have took Bowen Byram at 4, or do you think they in theory, had somebody else in mind?
Honestly, possibly they would have taken Byram because they took Thompson, and I don't know if they would have taken Thompson that high. I think they were happy that he fell down to 15th because I think that's where they felt comfortable with him. But honestly, last year's draft class, not very, nothing really pops out.
It's not full of a ton of studs, but at the same time, it's still super early.
Oh, 100%. Like, looking at who was picked, I'm annoyed that Kirby Dach went 3rd because if Ottawa was picking 4th, that's who I'd want us to pick. But looking at who was picked after him, Cozens, 7th from Buffalo, Newhook at 16th, Caulfield, and my bad, Lassie Thompson was 19th. 15th was Caulfield for Montreal. But I honestly, Turcotte probably would have been my choice just because the fact that we don't need any more defensemen. I'm also pretty sure Byram's a left-handed shot, which we definitely don't need any more of.
I believe you're correct.
Yeah.
Because we already have like 3 of them and we don't need any more.
Fair.
Yeah, he's a left-handed shot. And I think, honestly, that's the only reason why we don't pick him.
Fair enough, yeah. And like you can see how much more prominent that left-right D has become, left-right D pairings in the NHL.
For sure.
One player I wanted to ask you about, considering he's leading your team in points and goals, I believe, Anthony Duclair. I know that he has been struggling a little bit lately, looking at the numbers and everything. But for me, he's a player that I've always kind of kept my eye on, and I've always kind of just wanted to see more from him and thought that he could produce more. What can you kind of say about the steps that he's taken this year, considering he is leading the team in scoring and points, and just kind of what kind of player is he kind of turning into? Because I've always thought that he would be able to be at least like a top 2 liner in the NHL.
Yeah, so if we want to talk about like fleecing teams and trades, Dzingel for 2 second-round picks, 2020 and 2021, and Anthony Duclair from Columbus. Like that must be, one of the greatest steals for a trade. But I've talked about it on other episodes, is he's been one of the fastest skaters anywhere he's played. Minor, in junior, he was always so fast that he was able to make up for other things. And when you're that fast, there's generally, which is why it makes McDavid so good, is that he has everything already. He has the hand-eye, his brain works at the speed that his feet are going. And I think that's what you're finally starting to see from Duclair, is that his hockey IQ and his hockey vision has finally caught up to how fast he's playing. And that was always his biggest problem, was that he was playing so fast that his brain couldn't keep up with his feet. So his brain was always like 2 steps behind, while his feet were just like go, go, go. His brain couldn't keep up.
Fair enough.
Plus, his biggest downfall was his attitude. His entire NHL career up to this point, it seemed.
Yeah, and I think that's also to do with like a mismanagement of how he was used. Because he's a top line penalty killer in Ottawa. He's the top line power play. He's, generally he's a top six forward. Very rarely have we seen him on like the default third line. But I think it's just a lot of teams and a lot of coaches. And I think Tortorella was also part of this where they only saw him in a specific role and never let him out of it. And if he didn't fit that role, he was useless to the team. And he came to Ottawa. You saw it a little bit last year after the trade, but you've seen it a lot this year where his role has expanded, his attitude hasn't been an issue, and his play has benefited from it.
Yeah, I mean, could be a lot due to maturity, and like we were kind of talking about McKinnon on your podcast about how it took him a while to get going. Maybe, this is a good start building block year for Duclair. I also wanted to ask you, he's getting paid $1.65 million right now. He's RFA at the end of this year. What kind of deal you see coming for Duclair when it comes to the Senators?
It's a little bit difficult because of Duclair's history. Last thing you want is to give him a long-term deal, big money, or bigger money than what he's getting now. But you also don't want to lowball him and insult him because that could put him back to square one where he's like, oh, I'm not, respected by this club. They don't actually want me here, this, that, and the other thing. And I think that's the one thing that Dorion is really good at is making sure the players and the agents understand that, they want players here. They want him here, and they want to figure out the best contract for both player and team. And if that can't be met, then they're going to move on. But Dorian's not one of those ones where it's, my way or the highway. It's very much like, hey, this is a starting point. Let's talk about it. And he does negotiations very well, I find, in that aspect. And it's not something that you're going to hear a lot of chatter about, is that Ottawa signings are just going to come and go. They're going to be like, this guy signed today, and you're going to be like, oh, where did this come from?
Yeah, that's how Shabbat happened.
Yeah.
Yep.
For sure.
It was like there was so
like,
much
whoa.
money that he wasn't getting signed, and it was just like, bam, right there.
Here you go.
Because the one thing Dorion, and I think one thing that hurt Stone and Duchesne was that they talked about it publicly. Dorian is very much one of those tight-lip, keep it in-house kind of guys. Once you start negotiating through the media, that's kind of where he takes his foot off and he kind of just like, okay, you're trying to be a little bit backhanded on this, so we're going to take a step back on you.
I mean, that's probably not the worst strategy, especially when you consider kind of all the negotiations around Marner, around Nylander, around Rantanen, around Line A and Connor. Thank you. I was trying to freaking. It took me way too long to figure that out, or get that name out. But yeah, so I mean, it'll be interesting to see because this could be the start of like a really seriously good hockey player career here for Duclair. So I just find it intriguing because I always liked him, and I liked him when he was on the Canadian World Juniors back, quite a few years now. So yeah, it's just been kind of an interesting storyline to see this year, and I've just seen some of his goals and stuff this year, and I'm like, hell yeah, dude! Like it looks like he's starting to sprout a bit, so that's cool.
Yeah, I'm really happy to see because I loved Duclair when he was in junior, and I was ecstatic to see him kind of get off to a good start in Arizona, and then it just kind of derailed from there. But he should get about $3 million this summer, and that's kind of the minimum that I would look at. I think the max is $5 million. it's going to be a McKinnon kind of deal where like it's a little bit of an overpayment, but with the right people with him, it'll look like a fair value. If not, he's going to like exceed the contract by like halfway through it.
I caution yourself about getting ahead of yourself, but we'll see. I'm not saying I disagree, but there's been
I'm not saying that he's going to get 6.3.
No. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like being this confident in him exceeding his value. Just there's a lot of players in this league.
I think when you ever sign someone to a long-term deal, that's kind of what you hope for, right?
Oh, 100%. But it's
especially if you give them a little bit more money than what they're worth.
100%. It's just you got to be careful in contract years when guys produce.
Oh, 100%. That's why I have no, if he was 27, 28, pushing 30, I would be very against, like I'd be against giving him more than $3 million on a 3-year deal. Like I'm very against giving Pajot more than 3 years because he's been nothing but a third line center his entire career. So the fact that Duclair is 24, going to be 25, even if you give him to a 5-year deal, it'll push him until he's 30. And if he's really been that bad, well, okay, you at least got him for what's expected to be his prime. And if he's bad during his prime, you're not really missing out on anything.
Well, and he's not going to be a anchor that like he's still in his prime. He's not going to be a 10-point guy. No.
And again, if he exceeds expectations, in those 5 years, then great. But if you give him like a 5-5, which if you talk to a lot of people is a little bit of an overpayment for the 1 year, the 1 and a bit year that he's been in Ottawa.
Well, that's why I'm saying be cautious because Matt Duchene had a pretty fantastic year in his contract year too.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh yeah, but at the same time, honestly, for Ottawa to give a guy 5 years at $5 million, it's going to look like nothing compared to who we're going to have to pay. Like, it's a contract that, is going to be movable depending on how the cap works, because a $5 million deal now is most likely going to look like a $3 million deal by the time that deal expires.
Sure.
That's what they're hoping for at
sure.
least.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, there's definitely worse contracts out there, 100%. So.
Oh, yeah.
True.
One final question for me, kind of a two-parter. I'm sure I wouldn't say surprised by the fact that the Sens aren't dramatically in last place like the Detroit Red Wings. But are you happy overall with how the team plays on a night-to-night basis and how they're tanking?
Yeah. I mean, they've improved every game, so to speak. They're not getting. I think they've been blown out like once or twice this year. They haven't been. They've been in almost every game they've played. And for a team rebuilding with the, bottom of the barrel guys they have, because realistically, like Ennis is on like player minimum. I think he's at 800,000. You have like Anisimov, who's been subpar the last couple of years, and the Mesnikov, whatnot. The fact that they're playing, they're competitive, they're forcing teams to win, they're not just giving games. I think you would be stupid, really, to not be happy with that in the current state that they're in.
Yeah, I mean, progress is progress, right? And I think, that's the biggest thing for teams like at the bottom of the barrel is to build a foundation of some kind, right? So it looks definitely like the Senators have done that this year, which is good.
What do you expect from Thursday night's game?
I'd be lying if I didn't say it could get ugly. Like I said when you guys were for my podcast, is if Hogberg's in net, most likely going to go to overtime. He's going to rob McKinnon Guarantee it. If he's in net, McKinnon's gonna be left wide open, and Hogberg's just gonna get a glove on it. And it seems like that's how it goes. Every game, he makes a highlight reel save. And if that's the case, it's going to overtime. But I don't know. It can get ugly pretty quickly. I'm hoping that they got all their goal scoring out against Buffalo.
I was gonna say don't worry on the left wide open front, because I'm sure Duclair is gonna get left wide open in the slot too.
Yeah, it tends
but
to sneak
Duclair's
through.
been left wide open in the slot and he's missed.
Perfect. He
good.
fits right into the Avs defensive hockey game.
So I think it's going to be wide
we don't-
open, fast hockey.
I think you're right. That is about a guarantee.
Yeah,
It's going to be great to watch. It's going to be good hockey to watch.
I think so too. I mean, I think there'll be a couple pretty good games for sure.
Well, as we say to many of our guests on Offside by a Mile, good luck, but not too much.
Yeah, basically.
Enjoy Thursday night's game, and we'll catch you on Tuesday night's game as well in Denver this time.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on the podcast. Where can our fans find you on Twitter?
Find me on Frozen Biscuit 92 for the network, as well as my personal, which is Shane_Ryan97.
Awesome.
Oh, jinx.
Wow. Yeah, thanks, Shane. Thanks for coming on.
No problem. Thank you guys for having me.
Well, thanks again to Shane from Frozen Biscuit. If you want to give him a follow, have at her. I don't know how many Avs fans are also Sens fans, aside from the fact that they gave us Bowen Byram.
Yeah.
Real appreciative. And Shane Bowers.
And Gerard.
And Gerard and Kamenev and the affiliated
whole
players
schwack.
to that trade.
Yeah.
Obviously, those players were from Nashville, but
Oh, yeah.
Kyle Turris facilitated that part of the trade.
Thank you, sir. Riding the pine.
Yeah, you're really killing it. I think another fitting opponent, and it's fitting that we play them on Saturday, is the Columbus Blue Jackets.
I know, right?
Just following Matt
Just
Duchene's
the full circle.
lay of the land.
When's Nashville?
Maybe he's going to end up in Minnesota one day. Maybe that's what this road trip is.
Yeah,
you know?
okay.
Senators, Columbus, Minnesota eventually, could happen. So the Avalanche are playing Columbus, and normally I would be excited because he's like, after Philly, like the Sabres are not very good, definitely not very good lately. The Senators are not very good, period.
Mm-hmm.
The Columbus Blue Jackets were supposed to be not very good.
Mm-hmm.
Elvis has turned that season around in a friggin' hurry. I think he's won 7 straight or 8 straight now.
This kid, man. Yeah.
Elvis Merzlikins.
Merzlikins.
I don't know. That's what I'm probably not right. I should have brought up Elite Prospects for pronunciation. I didn't. Damn. Anyway, he's been lights out since Korpisalo got hurt.
Yeah.
Absolutely lights out. So
that spells
the Avs are going to have to shoot.
Yikes.
They're going to have to shoot a lot, and they're going to have to bury some pucks when they get the chance.
Yeah.
Because hopefully, like Shane said, Hogberg's not in net, and you're not going to listen to this game before an overtime against Ottawa.
Yeah.
Because the Avs need those 2 points, because Elvis could just go absolutely nuts.
I mean, if there's any indication of what he's done lately, that could be a possibility of a steal of a game by a goalie, right? So
plus, if the Avalanche crush the Blue Jackets, we could see Tortorella go apeshit.
Oh,
and
win-win.
Who doesn't love that?
It's been a while since I've seen Torts losing his shit a little bit.
Ape when
Korpisalo
got hurt.
Right. I do remember that. I was like, there was something recent.
That was the one. That's his most recent one.
Right.
I could go for 2.0 Tortorella because, man, he is entertaining. As much as he's a idiot, he is a beauty.
Yeah.
When it comes to content. Sunday, this is a busy episode preview here. It's going to be a real busy episode on Sunday.
Yeah.
Minnesota is on deck. The Avs are going to be in Minnesota. This is, I believe, the 3rd game of the year between the Avs and Minnesota. They're doing Minnesota things. They're, puttering along. Not exactly surprising. Not unsurprising.
Yeah.
So, it'll be a good one. The last weekend before the Stadium Series game.
Yes. He's coming up.
I don't know if you guys saw those. I'm sure you did if you watched the game on Tuesday night, but the rink is getting built.
Yep.
At the Air Force Base, so.
Man, there's snow out there and everything.
It's turning in. Looking like it's going to be a great weekend.
Yeah.
That is the 15th of February.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Should be
Brett is making a grave mistake and going to L.A. instead of going to Denver. Idiot. It's not in L.A., Brett.
Yo, I thought the game was here, man.
Anyway, yeah, so thanks for tuning in to the episode. We hope you enjoyed. And positive Thursday. Solid 5 points when we come back to Monday's episode.
Good vibes.
Good vibes, 5 points. Come on, let's do it,
Berkey?
please.
I mean, Berkey will probably get 5 points, right? Let's go.
No, I want 5 points for the team.
Oh, okay.
Jared,
That's
this is a
doable.
team sport. I don't care about my individual nights on the stat sheet. I just want our team to get 2 points, okay? Quote unquote Burakovsky. Probably one day in his career.
Probably.
Anyway, we will see you on Monday.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Now a quick word from our sponsors.
Last but not least today, we have a fantastic deal from Reebok. Reebok is offering an extra 50% off if you use the code GETDOWN, no spaces. This would be a perfect time to get yourself some new workout gear, maybe some UFC fight merch. Whatever you're looking for, this code will save you some money. Also, same as with Puffy and NHL Shop, if you shop through our link, which we will tweet after the episode, you can help support us and the Hockey Podcast Network. Again, thanks for tuning in to our growing network of podcasts, and we hope you enjoy our episode. Don't forget to visit us on Twitter at Offside by a Mile to join our conversation and have your voice heard. Also, check out the rest of the Hockey Podcast Network on Twitter at HockeyPodNet and thehockeypodcastnetwork.com. You can listen to the podcast there or anywhere you get your podcasts from. The biggest thing you can do to support us is by going to iTunes or Apple Podcasts and giving us a 5-star rating. Also, if you're looking to donate to the network, visit the Hockey Podcast Network's Patreon page. All donations go straight to the podcast host. Thanks, and see you next episode.
You're listening to the Hockey Podcast Network on Twitter at HockeyPodNet. New episodes every Monday and Thursday. Download at thehockeypodcastnetwork.com or wherever you get your podcasts from.